It's been a little while now since my last video covering the mods of Project Zomboid, so today we're diving right back into it and taking a look at all sorts of mods, all the way from the quick and simple quality of life changes tailored to one small individual feature or mechanic, all the way to mods that can completely change the way you play in multiple ways by heavily altering one or multiple core aspects of the game. I'm sure a lot of you folks out there have extensive mod lists already, and I'm sorry to tell you that this list is about to get just that little bit longer. Remember to drop the video a like if you find a mod to try in your own playthroughs, and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. All of the mods in today's video are linked in a single collection down in the description. Today's video is sponsored by Crestfallen Medieval Survival, the brand new immersive RPG set in the rich medieval open world of Terralia, with both single player and multiplayer modes available. Terralia is a harsh and unforgiving land, albeit beautiful. You'll need to farm resources from the land itself, construct a humble abode with the modular building system, then embark upon a righteous quest or two as you scour the land for injustice to vanquish. You'll fight everything from Viking raiders, savage barbarians, hostile wildlife, and even mythical dragons. For your efforts, you'll be rewarded with countless treasures to be used to further your quest, upgrade your equipment, and strengthen your skills using the progression system, complete with a detailed skill tree to help match every playstyle you wish to explore, from sword to magic. Crestfallen is currently in early access on Steam, but the developer is streaming the game as part of Steam Next Fest on June 10th, with the game releasing to the public on July 1st, so make sure you follow the link down in the description, wishlist the game on Steam, and get ready to start your nightly adventure into Terralia. Alright, so let's kick things off strong with a mod that offers fundamental changes to the way you play before you even click to start your game. This is Heifer's Occupations and Traits, which completely overhauls the existing occupations within Project Zomboid, replacing them with 17 new versions of their own making. On top of that, you'll have over 80 custom traits too, some of which you can choose and others that come with certain occupations. Interestingly, unlike the vanilla occupations found in the game, the versions offered in this mod definitely hint towards post-apocalypse roles instead of pre-apocalypse jobs. The cook occupation has been changed to fire pit chef. There's now a trader occupation, as well as blacksmith, contract gun, and outcast, to name just a few. There's some unique clothing and wearables for some of the occupation choices too, such as a suitably camouflaged vest and cap for the contract gun occupation, which I paired up with a very nice firearms mod for some good old-fashioned freedom distribution. Now that brings me nicely onto said firearms mod, and this one is actually one you've likely seen before, but with a brand new look to it. This is Firearms B41 revamped, which isn't by the original modder, but does have plenty of new features and additions to an already popular favorite for Zomboiders looking to add vanilla-friendly firearms to their playthroughs. Obviously, you can expect some new guns here, and there's a good handful of them, including the BAR, Mini 14, P228, and Over-Under shotgun, to name just a few of them, but there's a lot of smaller additions that have been made too. Gun lights have now been added to the mod, as well as bayonets and silencers. The bayonets are especially cool, which can be toggled with a keybind that also interacts with newly implemented folding stocks as well. Lastly, you can saw off some of the rifles or shotguns to create more compact versions of the original weapon, and that goes for both the stocks and their barrels. To say there's been significant changes with this one is an understatement, and it's great to see an incredible mod getting some further love and attention so far after its initial release. Okay, so moving away from firearms and game-changing mechanics for the next ones, we're going to take a look at 3 mods that can help bring some expression to your Project Zomboid experience. Now, if you didn't know already, Zomboid actually has a pretty sizable roleplay scene where players take on the role of a character in the apocalypse, and most of these servers tend to make use of mods like TTRP poses, Foo's roleplay poses, and Silly's roleplay actions to help their character in mimicking movements, expressing emotions, and just to generally help with that immersive experience, and that's exactly why we're taking a look at them today. day. Even if you don't play on a roleplay server and you just want to add a little bit of flavor to your private co-op games, then these are great choices for you. And having never tried one of these mods myself in the past, I was actually quite surprised by the kind of animations they can offer. Many of them look as though they were constructed by the developers themselves and fit perfectly into the game. Some of them use existing animations that are otherwise only used for specific actions, so you can mimic those events whenever you like, and others are brand new animations made completely from scratch. I was especially a fan of all the idle animations that allow you to interact with your environment. Anyway, I realize this one isn't going to be for everyone, but I really haven't put much of a focus on roleplay in my previous mods videos, and I thought it was about time that changed. Next up, let's take a look at a couple of mods that are a bit more modest in their approach, offering quality of life improvements to the game rather than full overhauls and mechanical changes. First up is Flashlight Indicator, which is very simple in the way that it functions. Now, sometimes it can be a bit tricky to tell if your flashlight is actually active or not, especially if you're in daylight conditions where it's hard to notice the difference in the lighting when the flashlight is turned on. This can result in draining the battery for your flashlight unnecessarily and leaving you without one when night rolls around. To combat that instance, this mod simply adds a small icon above the character's head to show whether the flashlight is switched on when in your hand. It's simple, effective, and can save you a lot of heartache. On a similar token, the mod Injury Indicator provides a very straightforward notification when your character sustains an injury. This notification tells you exactly where the wound has taken place, so you don't need to open a health panel to know if a vital area like the head or neck has been affected. This can save you valuable time in a fight and save you from a painful death whilst you're absorbed in one of Project Zomboid's many menus. Alright, so how about some mods for the base builders and decorators out there? I'll start off with a really simple one that I think a lot of folks are going to enjoy. This mod is simply called Build Roof. In the vanilla version of Project Zomboid, in order to build a level above you, you'll need to construct some stairs, which require carpentry level 6 to complete, and that's a big ask even for experienced players. This can naturally slow down your progress if you're building your own base. So with this mod, you'll be able to build a tile above you to act as a roof from level 1 in the carpentry skill. This will hopefully stop that frustrating bottleneck if you're taking part in any playthrough where you're constructing your own base from scratch. Sticking to more base building mods, the next one I've got for you is one that has become a personal favorite of mine, known as Decoholic. This is one for the players that really want to tailor their safe house to their requirements and preferences down to the notes you've left on the refrigerator. Quite literally. Essentially, any object that has different variations of how they can look, like said refrigerator, shelving units, or bookcases for example, can all be altered simply by right-clicking on them and choosing the new option to edit their appearance. This mod is especially handy if you're lining up a bunch of shelving and want to ensure there's no duplicates, but generally speaking, it's just a great mod for those that like to look after their safe house and really make them stand out. The modder behind this one is also working on making other mods compatible with it and suggests leaving feedback in the comments of their workshop page for the mod if there's any you'd like to see included. Now, if you're a homesteader that likes to spend time at the safe house a lot or just enjoys the process of farming in Project Zomboid, you've probably used mods like Mow Crops, and I wouldn't blame you, considering it's a fantastic mod that adds a few new plantable items to the game. But one thing that mod doesn't do is add plantable versions of wild berries you can find through use of the foraging skill. That's where the mod Wild Fruit Farming comes in, which is fully compatible with Mow Crops and allows you to take cuttings from wild berry bushes and plant them right in your own backyard. You'll have access to blueberries, blackberries, and wild grapes too. The cool thing about this as well is that when you're done harvesting them, they actually remain in the ground and simply revert back to their young stage and then grow all over again. Once they're planted, it's essentially a free food source, so long as you keep them watered, and makes a great insert into the avid farmer's playthrough. If farming isn't your thing though, and you prefer to go out in search of your food, then maybe this next mod will be one you're willing to try. This is Immersive Hunting, and this one is an oldie, but despite it being around for quite some time, it's not one I've covered before, and I think it's very easy for mods like this one to fly under the radar for newer players. This mod, as the name suggests, allows you to track and hunt wild animals through the foraging system. How easily you can track said animals comes down to your foraging skill, and I will say, even at maximum skill level, I had trouble finding signs of anything outside of birds. That said, I can see why that's the case, because a full animal carcass can feed you for a solid week week or more. Birds can be hunted without needing to track them, whereas larger animals are going to take some work whilst you follow their trail. Outside of the foraging skill, both your aiming and sneaking skill will play into your hunting efforts also, and you'll find that rifles are better for hunting large game, whereas shotguns are better for birds. The mod goes into a hefty amount of detail and offers a feature that we won't see until build 42, so as far as quality goes, the modder has done a stand-up job. A couple of the animations are a bit weird, but if you can look past those, it's a fantastic option for both regular and wilderness survival playthroughs. So the next one is a fairly small one, but a good option for those looking for a bit more depth in combat. This is the dodge mod, and as you'd expect, it allows your character to perform a backstep whilst in a fight. You'll need to bind a key of your choice in the options menu, but once you've downloaded the mod and bound the key, that's done, you're all set. Just hit the keybind of your choice when aiming with a weapon. This should make dealing with larger groups much easier and allow you to avoid a lunging zombie if you're quick enough to the draw. Okay, so this upcoming mod is a fantastic option if you're looking to surprise your friends with something a little more creative. This is Bard Interactive Music, which brings a use to all of those instruments you can find out in the world. You can play an instrument manually using the on-screen keyboard, or you can even play music directly from a file using some open source software that can be found on the workshop page for this mod. The results are, quite frankly, amazing, and if you don't believe me, just listen to this example the modder has on their workshop page. See what I mean? The perfect addition to any safe house party, and it works just fine in multiplayer too. Just be aware that you might draw an undead audience whilst you're playing if you're not careful. So we've only got a couple of mods left for this video, but I've saved some of the best ones for last this time around, and I think this one is going to be a real hit with you guys. This mod is called The Last of Us Infected, and is an updated rework of an older mod on the workshop. If you're a fan of the 10 years later runs, The Last of Us, or just any playthrough that puts you further along in the progression of the apocalypse, you will love this mod. The mod adds all the zombie types you'd be familiar with from the popular franchise, bringing in stalkers that hide in the dark and wait to ambush unsuspecting prey, clickers with inhuman strength, and even the bloaters for an absolutely terrifying encounter once in a blue moon. Now, this mod is not for the faint of heart. You're going to face some serious challenge here, so the modder advises starting with zombie numbers as low as 0.1 to get you familiar with the setting, and you know I was skeptical about that, but it really does add to the atmosphere, wandering through abandoned, overgrown streets, knowing that at any moment a lethal surprise could be around the corner. Keep in mind with this one that a little bit of manual file replacement is required for the audio to work as intended, but if you've ever extracted files before, you should be perfectly comfortable with that, and it really is worth doing to get those horrifying sounds the infected make in The Last of Us. I can see myself doing a full session with this one, and I'm sure there will be plenty of others out there ready to do the same. Now, if that last mod was understandably a little too spooky for you, I've got a mod to add a little levity to the equation. This is Goose Z, and well, what it does should be pretty evident from the name. It's janky, the animations aren't quite right, but my god is it hilarious watching a goose flying after you with a knife between its beak. 10 out of 10, no notes, possibly the best mod ever made. So that's it from me in this video, folks, but I hope you found a couple of mods to try in your own games, and if there's any other mods I need to check out, please don't hesitate to drop them in the comments section below. If you're looking for even more mods to try, I've done a whole bunch on this channel, including modded maps, so I'll leave a couple of those on the end screen for this video if you want to check out some more. Lastly, I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters for backing the channel, giving £3 a month, and joining our whitelisted Project Zomboid server, where we host different themes every month, commission our own mods, and even make our own maps with the help of some talented modders. We're hosting a cryogenic winter wipe this month, so if you're up for the challenge, there's a link down in the description. Thanks folks, and I'll see you all in the next one.